So when I woke up this morning, looked out of the window, there was dense fog everywhere. So I thought I have to get into some forest to photograph. So yeah, I drove into the mountains of Sintra. But as I arrived here, you can see fog is gone and it's now quite windy. So there's nothing to photograph now, but still it's so beautiful. And I just want to quickly show you this area because yeah, it's even without fog, a magical place. And if you're ever in the area, you have a car, just use it to drive through those little roads in the mountains of Sintra and you'll find places like this. I don't even know where exactly I am now. I just followed some of the roads, though there are not too many, but yeah, you just follow them and you'll end up in such places and it's just magical. Yeah, so now let's do some exploring, and even without a photo, it's just beautiful. So just as I thought I wouldn't take a photo, the sun peeked over those hills in the background, and yeah, now despite no fog, it's still a magical scene. So I'm shooting directly into the sun, which is also something you can do if you're in a woodland, the sun's still low. You can try to place the sun star somewhere in the frame, and it also creates a bit of a haze you see in the background there. There's still some moisture in the air, and yeah, I think this looks magical. So what I've done here, I've come a bit lower with my camera, and you have those little, what is it? I think it's rocks which are completely covered by vegetation. Then you have those trees, more trees in the background. It's just a magical scene, like a fairy forest here. And yeah, I'm currently trying to take some photos with the sun in the frame. And sometimes it's also out, it's hidden behind some of the branches, which is nice because what you can do is you take photo when the sun peeks through for the background, then you focus at the foreground, and either you put your hand in front of the sun to avoid lens flares, or you just wait a second until the sun is behind some branch. I think, oh, now it looks nice with the I have to take a quick snap. Looks really nice there. Do you see the rays? I hope they come out in the photo. Oh my goodness, wouldn't have thought I'd get a photo. Okay, and here there's even some fog drifting in now. Wow, it doesn't get better than this. Okay, now I have to start shooting. So hello from this beautiful location which I just found a few hours ago when I was exploring along this coast here. So no clouds in the sky, but it's not too bad today because I have a very prominent subject, those rock walls to left and right, and then the staircase here leading down into the ocean where there's a lot of action, so a lot of waves, a lot of spray. So I hope there are not too many droplets on the lens already. Yeah, so this shows it's very worthwhile exploring and yeah, looking for such hidden gems. I'm not sure, maybe it's a popular spot, but I haven't seen many photos of it yet, so I guess it's not all too well known. But wow, what a spot. I'm now photographing it with the sun going down roughly in the middle of the canyon, so I have warm light bathing both sides, and I have to constantly wipe the lens, do bracketing, and yeah, hope to get a photo out of it. But it's just great to be here, and it's very loud. I hope you can even hear me. So yeah, that's the next photo, hopefully, this canyon with the sun in the middle. This photo, same as the first photo I showed in this video, is just a quick edit, which is what I have to do in the following videos also to keep up the pace. What I did was a quick Lightroom HDR blend and then some contrast and color work. I also intentionally left in the water blotches because I think they help to tell the story of that spray-filled place. What do you think? Should I remove them in the final edit? Let me introduce you to maybe the most spectacular cove here near Lisbon, which again I can't pronounce the name, so I won't try, but similar to what I said in the last video, if you just do a hike from Cabo da Roca to Cabo Raso or vice versa, you'll end up in many such places, and yeah, this here being maybe the most spectacular. And yeah, I've come down this evening because there was some chance for high clouds, which you see appearing there. I'm not sure if they stick around, but to be honest, the last day is always clear sky, so not much in terms of photography, but I just had to check out this cove because last time I was here just around noon to do a quick check. It was 5 years ago, and I knew someday I have to return to shoot it, to photograph it, and wow, it's just massive. Those sea stacks standing here, it's just awe-inspiring, and I'm not sure if it comes out in the video. Also I have to be careful, all those roundish rocks. Well, it's a bit of a climb down here, so I didn't film it, but I have a photo which I show now, which shows, yeah, the kind of steep cliff you climb down, but actually it looks much worse than it is. So there is some rope which ends halfway down, but then the last bit, you just need to stretch your legs a bit and then you get down quite easily if it's not wet. So I wouldn't go down here if it's raining or after rain. So if it's dry, I'd say it's no problem if you're a little fit. And yeah, it's worth it, as you can see. So now what I have to do some scouting, try to find a composition, because such places can be a bit overwhelming. So I could shoot this arch here, but yeah, you know the drill. There's a lot of stuff going on the left with the cliffs behind it, same as I explained in the last video for the other beach, and not much here. So I reckon I will rather attempt to photograph this way, because this is also where the light is, and I have some beautiful sea stacks there. And yeah, I'll attempt to find some foreground. Also I have to be careful because I think the tide's rushing in, so I don't want to get wet. There can be some unexpected waves which get a lot farther up the shore, so always be aware of that when you put your camera back and stuff. Yeah, but now it's still okay, and yeah, enough waffling. I now look for a place to photograph this, and if it doesn't work, just booked another 5 days in like 3 weeks where we'll return to this area. So we'll be in Madeira next week, and then we go to the Algarve, and yeah, to finish things off here in Portugal, we decided to just come back because it's just so awesome here. So maybe then I'll have some clouds, but for now I just enjoy the scenery. So another evening here in Portugal and another beach. This here is Praia da Ursa. It's not far from where I was yesterday. It's just the other direction. So when you go to Cabo da Roca and head northward, there's a little parking spot next to the street from where you can walk down here in like half an hour. It's an easy hike with a bit of a climb, but not as yesterday, where I really had to use my hands. Here it's just easy going. And yeah, you're rewarded with this beautiful beach where you have this very prominent sea stack in this direction and also a few more in that direction. But yeah, really the subject usually is that way. Only problem, as usual, with this travel so far, there are no clouds, so I will not be able to make this composition work, because if you remember, I talked about this in the first two videos. I need some balance, which I won't get without any clouds, but that's okay. I'll continue to explore a bit. Maybe I find a composition which works with a long lens, so I can exclude most of the sky, and if not, I just enjoy another evening here at the coast, and I'll be back in a few weeks, so maybe then I have better conditions. So this is definitely a place to return to again and again until I get a very good photo, not just an average photo. And it might not be during this trip, maybe also not during the next, but I'll come back to Portugal more often. I think it's just such an awesome country, and the coastline, it's just very spectacular. Yeah, and in 2 days it's off to Madeira, but till then, maybe I find another spot. Otherwise, see you in Madeira. And who knows, maybe some clouds pop up in the next hour and I get a photo, but it currently doesn't look like this. So you might be wondering, where are the photos from Praia da Ursa and the other beach where I had to climb down to? Well, as there weren't any clouds in the sky to complement the subject, I didn't take any photos, but I still want to show you the scouting photos. So when I return to those places, I'll likely photograph those compositions. So here's the one which I shot down at the huge sea arch, and it's a vertical frame. It's just a cell phone photo, and you see here those beautiful roundish rocks, also some with moss on them. And yeah, if I get some clouds to balance the shapes down here, this would be perfect and make for an interesting photo. But here with the clear sky is not that ideal. Another option would be to return at night with some stars. But yeah, for this I also need very good conditions. So ideally I would have the Milky Way behind this. So I have to check if this is even possible. But actually I would really prefer a sunset scene. And here's the composition I settled on at Praia da Ursa. And you see here's a nice framing with rocks on the left and the right, some rocks in the foreground, which I think are a bit too prominent, so I might have to change the final composition a bit, get a little bit closer here to the sea. But also here, this is just an open space which needs to be filled with some clouds, and hopefully in a few weeks when I return, I get those. But till then, I hope this still was interesting for you, just to see and experience those places, even without clouds. And yeah, if you ever are in Portugal, you know where to go.